Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kendrick Bailey, the Life Doctor.
I'm Terrence Johnson, the Life Excavator,
I'm Jeffrey Hart, the life champion.
and it's Johnny. Oh.
All right. So today we have another great discussion for you. Our topic today is stewardship. So if you're just joining us, our topic today is stewardship.
All right. So I'll go ahead and kick it off. So, like I said, if y'all haven't watched before, Johnny is our intern. And so he's been working with us behind the scenes, but also on camera as well. And this was his topic today, and talking about stewardship. And as we get closer into the holiday season, um, we often get kind of confused about the meaning of the season, and a lot of it is we so quick to try and figure out what we're gonna buy people and the gifts that people want and all that kind of stuff, or what we want, but we don't really understand what the benefit is of giving or having things that you're responsible for to give. And so with stewardship, it's all about how you manage the things that are placed in your hands or you're responsible for. And sometimes we feel like we're not as good of a steward as we would want to be, or we don't even like to have responsibility, and we don't want anybody to put anything in our hand to be responsible for. And so, how do we be better stewards, or if we're not used to being stewards, how do we become comfortable being stewards?
No, I definitely like how you laid it out. I think the best way I can shape it is what's in your hand. And when people see what's in their hand, they know it's something that they got a hold of or they got grasp of it. So what's in
Hmm.
your hand? What are you managing that's been given to you? And how are you handling it? Are you doing what's best with what you have? Or are you misusing the situation and people that you were meant to lead? And so, I definitely like, that definition. And then stewardship is one of the most important things that we can define because everybody may see it differently, but it's important for us to have a conversation about what is meant about being a good steward and how do you become better at doing it. Everybody.
No, I like that. So you went well, Johnny. I was gonna let you go because I know you. I want you to jump in because this your thing before I say.
Uh, for one, I'm me. Stewardship means giving back to the people in need. Not only giving back to the people in need, but giving back to God because He has made the way to give to give the things that you got. Yeah, to give the things that you got. So I believe y'all summed it up right then.
All right. So so I'm gonna kind of blend both of what y'all was saying. And Kendra went exactly where I was going in my head of what's in your hands. Because we did an episode long time ago was what's in your hands.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we think about, well, if I give to receive, you know, and the better I am at giving, then people gonna reciprocate that back to me. But if you're a steward of something, then that stewardship, or just like what Kenny was saying, that management, you're not dependent on what you get back. Because some things, just like what John was saying, what God gives us, it might not turn into money. And so we might say, like, oh, well, I'm not a good steward because what I got in my hand is not giving me anything back. But that's how you can be more of a blessing or to get more blessings yourself because you're not expecting something from what you're being a steward of. So, like, if you are a
Yeah.
leader of people, then a lot of us, and Kendra talk about it all the time, our ego will get in the way and say like, oh, well, I'm the leader, I'm the head, y'all got to do what I say. But if you a steward of people, you more concerned about their well-being and their growth rather than your own gain from it. And a lot of times people, they want to be leaders just because they want yes men around. And they just want people to say, oh, you good. Oh, look, man, I couldn't do what you did. Oh, man, you something else. I can't do like you do. Well, see, that's not doing anything for them, because then for them, it's all about how can they be you instead of how can they be a better them.
So what you're saying is stewardship goes
No,
deeper
that's good.
than just taking care of what you have in your hand.
Yeah, because so then you think about your hand. So, well, what if people you have an opportunity to be a steward, but your hands are closed? So not only are you not getting the benefit from learning how to be a steward, but then the people that would be a steward because of what you had in your hand, now they don't get the benefit from that. So now
Yeah.
you stop yourself and other people from growing because you afraid to be responsible for something.
So I got to jump in and jump off what Terrence was talking about. So stewardship is about giving and receiving, but not in the way that we normally think about.
Right.
Giving, yes. So we're always giving out the knowledge and gifts that we've been presented with or that we possess. But the receiving part is not the tangible piece of receiving. The receiving is the reward you get from being able to help move someone forward, but also what you learn from receiving the presence of the person that it was intended for you to help. So I say it again. The main gift of stewardship is what you receive from the person that you was intended to help, because they're gonna light a path for you to know that you're going down the right direction and to encourage you to continue to pour into other people.
No, that's good. That's good.
Also, too,
Go ahead.
Also, too, just to add on, I know a lot of people have said a closed mouth don't get fed. So sometime if you don't if you don't open your mouth or open your hands to receive whatever God is trying to give you, you can't receive it with a closed hand or a closed mouth.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, like what Johnny said, so a lot of times what our hands are doing and our mouth is doing are two totally different things. So we might say we want to be a steward, but then our hands closed, or our hands open, but our mouth is saying, I don't want to be responsible for nothing. So a lot of times, because that confusion between the two, then we can't really be good stewards, because what we say and then what our hands are doing are two totally different things.
And then a lot of times people think being a good steward is all about what you tangibly can give. But I want to, take a time to talk about all the different ways a person can give, and they never have to tangibly give anything. So we can give our knowledge, we can give our time, we can give people ideas, we can give people encouragement, we can give people hope. And it never requires us to tangibly give people money, when that's the main thing people think about when you think about something that you receive in your hand. But a lot of time what you can pour into somebody's mind and what you can pour into their heart is the main thing that you need to give them. And so especially during this time of year, stewardship is really important, because we only focus on the tangible things that we give people or the things people can see. Well, now it's time for us to look at giving in a much different, context, because everybody has something to give, and it doesn't require a lot of talent to give if you use what you have.
So I'm glad you put that back up. So in the comment, Vic was saying about, planting seeds. And it made me think about, well, in our everyday talk, are we planting seeds that's showing that we're good stewards? Because if I interact with Jeffrey, I interact with Johnny, with Kendrick, am I saying stuff that then are planting seeds for them to grow? Or am I saying stuff that's going to hinder them because I'm then talking down into their ability of what they can be? And so, just like you were saying, in different ways of being a steward or giving, sometimes the best gift we can give people is a positive word or encouragement. And that's free. That's something we can do all day long. And that's the thing that we withhold from people a lot because they were like, oh, man, I ain't, you see how they act and you see how they live, man. I ain't gonna say nothing, man. They didn't need somebody to have a come to Jesus meeting with them. They just need to be put in their place and all that kind of stuff. But you just don't ever know that one encouraging word might be what they really needed. And that can show how you a good steward because, what's in you will come out. So if you got a lot of hatred in you, your mouth is gonna reflect that. But if you got a lot of care and love for people, what you say to people is gonna then reflect that well.
No, man, that's good. Somebody, text me over the weekend, somebody that I was, mentoring, and I just came in contact with this person, by chance. I didn't know them, and they just reached out to me one day, and they found me online. It was like they just wanted to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So this person reached out to me this weekend, and said that everything was a struggle. It didn't seem like anything was going right after they graduated, and I just simply told them sometimes the struggle is what lets you know that you're going the right way, because it's not always going to be easy to get to where you're trying to go, and sometimes you have to show people how to get over mountains or go around mountains, and they understand the perseverance you have. They understand your unwavering tenacity that you have in your efforts to overcome and survive and learn to thrive. And so in being good stewards, sometimes is what we do, like people watching us, that gives us, the will to keep going. So in this example, I'm not the steward. The person that contacted me is the steward, because her relentless effort, inspired me. But you would think I was the one inspiring her, and we often get that flipped and turned around the wrong way. She was the person that was inspiring me. I was just the person providing the message.
See, now that's good. I don't know if folks are really catching what you just said, but you just said a whole lot, because then that flipped the whole thing about sometimes it's easier for some of us to give because naturally they're just kind of like our personality. But what you just said was the person that came to you was the steward. So then if you wouldn't have been in a place to receive what that person said, then they wouldn't have been able to be a good steward of what they had, because you didn't allow that opportunity to come about. So it may be that we blocking other people from being stewards of what God is putting on their heart to do, because we don't want to then make room to have those conversations.
Also this too, when we was last week, we was talking, no, it wasn't last week, the week before last, we was talking about mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Also too, it's also about you sitting and learning from that person, because who knows, in the long run, that person could turn around and bless you from just you sitting there listening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it doesn't necessarily mean that person has to be older than you either. A lot of times we think about wisdom is predicated on age, but you know, we know some people that's old and they ain't got nothing to tell nobody. But we know some young people too. They got a knowledge and they like to share it. So I think that you have to be careful that you don't always think about somebody being older than you to be the person that can give you information. You can learn from anybody, and and it depends on their age. All right, Jeffrey, you got it. Okay, I got to ask you something because you just been. We want your feedback, man. So we've been rolling now. We've been rolling. I know you got something now.
Nah, I just been letting y'all roll, man. Y'all on it, man. That's all. Yeah.
So when I think about stewardship, I think about Acts 20 and 35, and it says, "And I have been a constant example of how you can help those in need by hard working. You should remember the words of the Lord Jesus. It is more blessings to give than it is to receive."
All right, come on, unpack that since you read the verse. Come on, unpack that for the people.
In other words, we can work hard and you know we can work hard and not give to folks, but we can work hard, give to folks, and in the long run, that comes back to us, and we get blessed from it. Because if we just sitting, I'm just gonna sit on my blessing, I'm just gonna not do what I supposed to. But if I just do what I supposed to, in the end, my outcome is gonna be better than what I started with.
So
basically what you're saying is you have to be patient when you give, because 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna come back to you immediately. Now it may be years down the road before you actually see the fruit of your giving. So like I said, I guess you just have to, in some certain situations you just have to be patient and let once you plant that seed, you gotta let the soil and the dirt do its work, and then you'll reap the benefits of it.
Yeah, and I think just like what you were saying, planting the seed. So the other piece to that is where we plant the seed doesn't mean that that's where the harvest will come from. Sometimes where you plant the seeds, you won't see that in that area, but you plant it anyway. But your harvest might come from the field down the road that you didn't even sow into. So a lot of times we like, man, who put all this work in right here, and I've been sowing and I've been watering and I've been doing this kind of stuff. Like, why my harvest not here? Because a lot of times it's the investment, but the investment doesn't always come from the place that you sold it. Or somebody might sow into you. There's not even a person that you sold into. The sowing is just your down payment on the blessing. But you don't know exactly how it's going to come about or who it's going to come from. You just do it because that's being a good steward.
No, that's good. Sometimes where we actually give, sometimes it's not the place that we'll actually receive, or it's not the time to receive. And so if people out there feel like they've been given and they hadn't received the reward, or they hadn't obtained the victory that they're looking for, sometimes we got to get out of our own way. And that's what Keon Henderson said. Sometimes we got to get out of our own way, because maybe it's just meant for us to do a part of it. And then we got to find and surround ourselves with the right people to do the rest. And then when the right people are around us to do the rest, sometimes we got to get out of the way and let them do it, because they can take it farther than you can take it. And so You know, like I said, when we talk about this all the time, it's not meant for us to do everything within what we do with our progress. It's not meant for us to, counsel or see everybody or do every, show that we have in our head or write every piece of something that we have. Sometimes it's meant for other people to do those things. We just plant the seed and we let them, take off and make something, great out of it. And so we have to be able to, you know, witness and acknowledge who's in our presence because and let them do what they were assigned to do.
Mhm. And when you were talking, what came to me was, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So it may be that where you sowing, you can't get the harvest there because you don't have the right laborers in the field. So if you have a, a bountiful harvest coming, you gotta have people that's gonna work the ground. And where you've been sowing, you don't have all the people that you need. And so God can then maybe delay a harvest because he's saying, look, you need more people to work the field because this harvest is gonna be more than what you got. So I'm not trying not to bless you, but I want to fully bless you. So I want you to have all the people that you need to handle the work that's coming.
No, that's good because if you get it too fast, you will not be able to sustain it. And I think a few months ago, when we was having a discussion about this, or it was behind the scenes, you brought up Popeyes. So I'll let you elaborate on it.
Yeah, we was in one of our meetings and I was like, I don't want us to be Popeyes. I said, I'm gonna explain to you what I'm saying. I said, now Popeyes had the chicken sandwich and they weren't expecting the overflow that came. They were like, ooh, we excited about this product. We want to get it to people, but they didn't anticipate the number of people that came. So then they had to stop and shut down because they ran out. And then it took them a couple months to kind of get back and get everything in line to then handle the overflow. And that's one thing that I said in our meeting. I said, I don't want us to be Popeye. I don't want us to create something and a flood of people come and we can't handle it. I would rather build for the influx before they come. So then as it comes, then we don't have to stop. And that's the thing is like sometimes we limit how much God wants to do because like this is what I'm comfortable with. But if we believe in God to do bigger and better things, we got to build out the infrastructure to handle as much as he wants to bless us. And so sometimes he gives us time. He's like, I want to bless you, but I want you to have your infrastructure in place so that you can handle this. Because I want to give you all of it and I don't want to limit it. So this is the way that I'm giving you time. And with the pandemic, that's kind of what the pandemic did for us. It gave us a chance to really plan out some stuff and get ahead of some things that we probably would have just went on through it and put it out there, but it gave us a chance to kind of reflect. So yeah. That's what I'm doing. I didn't want to be Popeye.
So I add the last layer to what Terrence is talking about. Good stewardship creates patience in people. Good stewardship creates patience in people because a lot of time we want to move faster than we're supposed to move. And once we learn to be patient and we don't have to rush things, then a lot of times we put out our best products. Because if we put out things too hastily, we don't get the best return on our investment, but people also don't get the best from us. And so whatever you give people, make sure it's your best. And so remember, giving is not about money. It's whatever your gifts and talents you have to offer. Now, some people, all they have to give is money, and that's okay. But if you got other things to give outside of money, then give that, because you're teaching people that they have more to give than just what they put in their hand.
Mhm. Yeah. Renee had put a comment up. I want to see if you could pull it back up because it's a quote. Yeah. When I carry my own water, I value my labor. When the water was given to me, I didn't value the water. And it's kind of like a paraphrase. I think it's an African proverb that says that. So it's like when you can readily get water and you don't have to get it yourself, you don't value it. But when you got to go to the well and put it on your shoulder and carry it back to the house, then you understand like I can't run this water all day long. Like we can't be taking 5 or 6 baths a day. I got 2 buckets of water. This gotta last until I go back to the well. And so I think that's it too. When you are a steward of something, you value it because you've invested a lot of time into it. And it's not something that's been given to you. You had to work for it. And I think stewardship is a great kind of personal growth tool as well because it teaches you to value things a lot deeper than what other people would. And so when people like, oh, y'all got your own business. Okay. There's a lot more investment to it than what you think. And so, but you have to be committed to it. And so stewardship, it takes a personal relationship with you and the thing that you're a steward of. Because if you don't have a connection to it, then you're not gonna see it through because it's just gonna be another thing. You'll always feel like you can just put it down if you don't have a good connection to it.
Yeah. I think one of the best jobs in the world is not for me though. I think one of the best jobs in the world is being a teacher. And here's why. Teachers have to be great stewards because they're teaching everybody how to be leaders, but they also plant seeds in teaching people what they shall be by getting people to see what they might like. So I'll say it again. Teachers help to teach people what they shall be, and that's their first glimpse, well, first or second glimpse of who they shall be. So parents do that, their teachers teach, and although a lot of people sometimes may move away from it, it's a great, gift that's been bestowed upon them to be in the presence of so many lives and change them without them even knowing. So another benefit and a reward of being a good steward is to be an effective teacher because you can help people see what they will be before they actually get there. And not everybody has the capacity to do that. And then some people that have the capacity to do it may use it for their gain instead of what it was meant for them to do, to instruct. So if you can teach and instruct, you can show somebody how to be a fisherman of men instead of how to get their fish for one day and that's it.
Say that last part again, and then I got the. I guess Jeffrey got some, but say that last part again.
So I said, if you can teach, be an effective teacher, and instruct, you can teach people how to be fishermen of men, and they can eat for a lifetime instead of eating for a day.
All right, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so I just have a quick question. So, is there a difference between a steward and a shepherd, or are they one and the same?
See, that's good. Yeah, that's how. Look. Let me breathe about that one. Let me think. That's a good question. So I would say, I guess I'll start with a shepherd. So with a shepherd, you have sheep and you're leading a flock, pretty much. And that flock is dependent on your leadership because if you lead them wrong, or if you don't have the right intent behind why you're leading them, you won't care where they go. But if you're an effective shepherd, Your mindset is, how do I keep the flock intact and then make sure that everybody's safe? Because as the shepherd, I am responsible for my flock. I think steward, a steward is to be over a particular thing, but it may or may not include a big flock of people, because you have to first be a good steward of yourself before you be a steward to other people. So that means I had to be disciplined in myself and what I do in my own action before then I can be a good steward to other people. And so I think a steward can be, you know, internal or external thing. I think a shepherd has the external responsibility of the flock. If that makes sense.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Like I said, sometimes people associate them being the same. They have similar qualities, but I think Terrence hit the answer dead on head. I'm gonna pull up Vic question, and
Yeah.
I got about 3 points to Vic question. Then I'm gonna let y'all have it. So
All right.
why is effective stewardship difficult? I would tell you from experience, the ego is one of the most difficult things to rid yourself of, but it's also one of the most challenging things to becoming a good steward, because you got to remove self out of every situation to do what's best for the people that is meant for you to manage or lead. I think the second piece why effective stewardship is difficult is who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people that always lift you up and don't tell you the truth and don't bring you back down to reality, that's why sometimes good stewards lose their way or fall off their path. And I think effective stewards need to always, I think we need to always have the right, circle. So we have to have a group that always hold us accountable, but also tells us the truth about our areas of growth. And so doing the mirror test, I guess. And so those issues typically get in the way of people becoming good stewards. At one time they might have had it, but they lost it because they started drinking the Kool-Aid and they start becoming, you know, drunk with love in regards to themselves.
All right. See that? Hold up. Say that last part again, because that was good. Just say that last part again. I can't go past that. Say that again.
So people become drunk with love for themselves.
That's boy, that's good there. Look, that'll preach all by itself right there. I'm telling you, that'll preach now. All right. So one word that I had was accountability. People don't want to be a steward because they don't want to be accountable to people. And anytime you in any kind of leadership or you are in a role, then you will be the person that will have to answer if something happens. And people don't want to be that person.
Say what you say to them. Say so basically T saying people don't want the scrutiny of being a good steward.
Yeah, because you're gonna be questioned. and people might not like how you do things. That is part of it. And I think that's what gets a lot of people kind of hesitant of moving into that, because they don't want to be the person that if something happens, people call and say like, hey, you got this, hey, what happened? Hey, we don't want to be questioned. But if you're a good steward, the questions that people have, you'll have answers for. It's when you're not a good steward, that's when you can't answer questions.
No, that's good.
Because just like for me, like I've been involved in handling money in a lot of different areas, whether it was church, whether it was fraternity, whether it's bid, I've kind of been involved in that. People not gonna give you their money if they don't trust you. because if they trust you, they know that you're gonna be accountable if something happens, or if they got a question, they know you're gonna have an answer for. But if people can't trust you, then your accountability goes down with them because they were like, if I got a question, I can't trust that I'm gonna get an answer, or I can't trust the actions and behavior that they've done with what I put in their hand. And if you value what people give you, then it's easy to be accountable because you're not trying to hold it. Because some people, and they see money, oh, somebody gave $1,000. Oh, I might just come off the top, whatever, like that. If your mindset go there, then people gonna know that about you too.
Yeah.
And then they're not gonna trust putting stuff in your hand because they know it might come in your hand and leave out, or come in your hand and then go in your pocket.
No, that's good. And so if I have to sum up what you were saying, good stewards have to be trustworthy, but they got to be honest and forthcoming about their areas of growth, because good stewards will come under scrutiny. And if you can't handle the scrutiny of being a steward, then you're going to fail the test to helping people move forward. And so, as a steward, you got to be readily equipped with the tools to deal with the challenges that's going to come your way. And good stewards can't take the questions that come their way personally.
Say that. Hold up. Say that. Say that again. Say that. Say that again.
I said good stewards can't take the questions that come their way personal, because if you're a steward, you got to be ready to deal with the chaos and challenges that come with your job, or what you're holding in your hand, or what you're managing. And if you can't handle the scrutiny, you're not ready for the challenge.
That made me think about TD Jakes had a sermon a while ago, and he was talking about kind of like ministry and people. It's kind of like a restaurant. So people in the main area, they just used to, the waiters coming out, the food coming out, you enjoying yourself and the food. He said, but the real work is in the kitchen. The kitchen, that's what stuff, folks shuffling around, cooking. They up there, it's a faster pace, and a lot of stuff goes on back there. So a lot of people want to be stewards, but inside the restaurant and not in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be a good steward, you gotta be able to handle the kitchen. In the kitchen, everything go down in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But also you got to be prepared because everybody might not like what comes out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got questions. I don't like this food. Send it back. Where the chef at? Let me talk to somebody. My food ain't right, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the source that it come back to. And you got to be prepared for that. People want a real nice version of, what it is to be a steward, and it's work, and it's messy, and it's everything else. But at the end, if you can handle the kitchen, then the end product will be something that you can eat, and not something that you just throw together.
All right. So Vic throwing out these golden nuggets today. So I gotta, Vic, we appreciate you throwing out these points, because you hit the nail on the head with this one. And that goes back to the ego, what Vic's talking about. You only take it personal when you think the resources are yours. So that self, when you realize it doesn't belong to you, it's easy or not to take it personal. So using, T example about being in the kitchen, the people on the front line is what good stewardship is really meant for.
Yeah.
If the steward is doing what they're supposed to do, the people on the front line will follow them anywhere, because they know that they're appreciated, and they know it's about the people in the kitchen that making it happen, just like it's about the people that's on the front line that's making it happen. So the frontline people or the people at the lowest level typically can tell me what's happening on the job. And that's where you make the corrections, and that's where you give all the additional stuff to, because if those are the people making it happen, then those are the people that need to be rewarded. I don't need to be rewarded constantly for what I do, because I might get paid a certain amount to do my job, but the people at the lowest level is the one that need the reward because
Yeah.
they don't get what I get.
Uh-huh.
So if my information is wrong, if my instruction is wrong, if my posture is wrong, if if my tone is wrong, then they won't follow me.
Okay, so I got some just off what you just said. So it it's part of being a good steward. There go Kenny phone. It's part of being a good steward in how you treat people that you don't have to treat well.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is being a good steward is treating people well that can't do anything for you.
Right.
So that's exactly what it is. The people that can't do anything for you is the people that you need to treat the best, because you never know who's coming up to you. It's just like the TV show Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
The undercover boss is always going around trying to see who really is doing what's right when no one's looking, who has good character, who has integrity. And a lot of times they find out that the managers aren't the people that have the integrity and that's doing what's best. It's the people that's on the front line that's doing the dirty work that don't get a reward for doing it. So is because they're doing it because that's who they are. And so a lot of time undercover boss identifies what it means to be a good steward. So someone at the highest level, but a good steward in the making.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's good. I like Undercover Boss, one of my favorite shows too. So I always like Undercover Boss. Um, oh yeah, that's good. All right, so I guess since we getting toward the tail end of it today, um, I guess what are some ways, I guess individually, that we can be better stewards of what we feel God has has given us?
I think we have to respect the gifts and talents that's been bestowed upon us. I think we have to take every opportunity to share what we have. That's lessons learned, but as well as the hardships and struggles. Um, but I think it's important to have people that gonna keep you accountable, and I think you mentioned that earlier,
Mhm.
because people that will keep you accountable, they're not always gonna tell you what you want to hear, but that's exactly what you need. Because a person that only wants to hear what they want to hear is not a person that wants accountability. That's the person that wants to be worshipped.
Mhm.
So I say it again: a person that only wants to hear what's good is only a person that wants to be worshipped. A person that wants to hear what's good or bad to keep them accountable, that's a person that wants to grow. And so just because somebody is your boss doesn't mean that they want to grow. They may have hit that final level and it's meant
Mhm.
for you to surpass them.
Mhm.
And it's okay to outgrow positions and people and situations, because good stewardship will let you know when it's time for you to move to the next level.
All right. Like I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna go last. I've been talking. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go last.
I guess for me, man, just realizing that whatever I have possession of, it's not for me. It's for everyone else that's around me, and to um, whether it's information, knowledge, whatever. It's not to hold on to, but to give.
Mm-hmm.
So just realizing that it's being a good steward is taking care of what you have, but to also give it. Once you've taken care of and gotten to that point. Um, so yeah, just taking care of everything that I have and being willing to get it out of my hands so that someone else can benefit from it.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Um,
Johnny, you.
uh, mainly, back off what Jeffrey just said. Getting out of my hands, putting it in someone else's hands so they can receive and grow from it. And not only the knowledge, but the understanding for them to know that I'm doing this to be a good steward, to show you how to I can't, my mind went blank then. To show you how to grow.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me is allowing myself not to be pulled toward the bigger thing, and doing the small thing consistently. So I don't want to be distracted by chasing things that's in the future, and neglecting things that I can do better in my day to day. And I think that's something that I know can be an issue for me because I'm a future oriented person. Like even though I'm here, like my mind is 5 years in the future at all times. But is learning how not to overlook things that I could do right now that could be an investment to somebody, even as I'm working toward things that will have a bigger impact with people. But I can't just disregard today because today has as much value as tomorrow does.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think this will be the last thing I say. I'm gonna shut up. You have to be people centric if you're gonna be a good steward. You have to
Yeah.
be people centric if you're gonna be a good steward.
No, that's good. I want to bring this comment back up because I think this one was good. Well, man, I'm just having the chance to read some of them, but this one right here, stewardship begins with knowing your role is temporary. That,
Mhm.
that says a mouthful because if so many people fight for these little titles and positions that they gonna get rid of you anyway.
Yeah.
They'll send you home anyway. So why you fighting over these little positions and stuff like this? These people don't care about you. They don't care about you. So
So
why are you stuck in titles and stuff?
yeah.
Because like that, all of us know that's why we can laugh about it because all of us been in that position, but they don't care about you. These jobs do not care about you. So why are you trying to make a position, a title, your identity? Because it's
So
not.
I lied. I said it was gonna be my last thing. Do you know why stewardship begins? Do you know why stewardship begins with knowing that your role is temporary?
Why?
Because what we're doing is only filling an assignment, and you're gonna have different assignments throughout your life. Once you
Mm-hmm.
meet the intent of your assignment, it's time to move to the next. People, bad stewards, don't understand that their assignments are temporary. Therefore, they stay in a position far too long, and then
Mm-hmm.
they lose the gifts and talents that they possess.
Mm-hmm. So,
All right,
so what,
I'm shut up.
what you saying? No, you said something. You said something good. So what you saying is we are we can't then continue to be in our role. So if we vessels, then how can we be vessels when we just feel we're only one? We can only get filled one time. But we are
Yeah,
vessels, then
and
we can use it multiple times. But we just saying
think,
like, oh, I just want to use this just this way, and just fill me
yeah,
with that, and I'm good. I'm through.
think, think about it like this: if we're vessels, think of a vessel as being a ship. A ship
Mm-hmm.
goes to different ports. It goes
Mm-hmm.
to different ports to pick up and drop off. Well, once we picked up what we need and we drop it off, and then we get reloaded, we go to a different port. If a
Mhm.
ship carry the same content every time, then they ain't losing any weight. They end up carrying dead weight.
Look, you just okay.
Right.
So I'm
I'm,
gonna say this.
I'm jumping
You
off.
talking
Don't
good, man. You talking
I'm
real
jumping
good.
off.
I'm gonna say
I'm
this.
jumping off. Y'all handle the
Don't
last
say
5 minutes.
this. So maybe we can't reach our destination because we don't want our title to change.
I don't know why you're like I'm jumping off.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that one more time. Some of us get stuck because we don't want our title to change. So we want to then hold on to what we used to, but we don't want to be used in a different way. And that's how we get stuck. So just like what Kenny was saying, if you're a ship and you carrying the same cargo, you can't go but to the same ports because then that port is only that one thing that you got. But to reach this next destination, you got to change what you carrying because then that other port needs something that you just picked up, not what you've been had.
Hmm.
That Kendra, you look that blessed me. That blessed me real good. Now that blessed me real good. So I hopefully, so I go ahead and close it out today. So hopefully this has been a blessing to you as it's been to us. Like I said, we have been really enjoying these last few Facebook lives. If you didn't check out Convos with Couples, uh, a new boo won't change you. The one that was last Thursday, you need to go back and watch it. I'm telling you, it was good. And also this is what you can expect from us in the next year. You'll see a lot more diversity in what we're talking about, the formats, the people that we have on. So it's not just going to be who you've been used to seeing on with us. Like I said, Johnny will be on with us more too, but you'll see like Miriam and Natoya, you saw them on last Thursday. We have, you saw David with us last Monday. So it's going to be a lot more people that's going to be on with us because we want you to have a diversity of perspective, not just our perspective, but other people's perspective because everybody has something to add. And that's how we learn. So we learn as y'all learn. So just how y'all be excited in the comments, we be excited. I feel like I'm gonna have to rewatch this one because Kendi was saying a whole lot of stuff that I got to go back and take notes on because it was blessing me. It was hitting me, and I was trying to come back with a point. But this, we want y'all to be excited about learning how to better yourself. That's what it's for. We don't want to be boring and want to be real. Run of the mill. We want to be something that make you feel good, but energizes you and then helps you, on your journey because your journey is your own personal journey. We want to help you get to your destination and navigate the best you can. So, one thing before we do wrap up, if you entertain the journey group, you saw it. Kendrick did a post. We are looking to be a blessing during the holiday season. So if you looking to take the journey group, it's a post about us wanting to bless a family with groceries during the holiday season. The Lord been a blessing to us during this year, and we want to sow into somebody else. So please go. We'll probably repost it, but please check that out. You can email us, or I think Kendrick had his contact info for that. Please let us know if you know a family, somebody that's in need during the holiday season. We want to be a blessing to them. So, and we encourage you to then do something as well. It might not be groceries, but it might be, sponsoring a child with the angel tree or volunteering or whatever you can do during this holiday season. Get outside of yourself instead of just trying to figure out what you're gonna get or what you buying somebody else. But be a blessing to somebody else because you never know. It might be something that bless their day. So anybody else got anything else? So y'all can thank Johnny for the topic today. So he came up with stewardship. I knew it was gonna be a good episode. So I was excited when he first told me about it. And so yeah. So and Mel talking about can we feed agree. See, he already got a mama. You ain't in me. You already feeding it. You ain't in me. So if nothing else, go ahead, John.
And this coming Saturday, I will be at Point Dexter Park giving out socks to homeless. So if anyone wants to contribute, you can inbox me at Johnny Smith III on Facebook, or if you want to donate socks, I will put my phone number in the comment and my Cash App if you just want to Cash App it to me, because I am going to do this and I want to be a blessing to someone else, because God has been good to me through this year.
All right.
I Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, there's something that Johnny, he had been talking to us about for a couple of weeks. So we've been knowing he's been trying to put this together. So y'all please support him in what he's doing, because like I said, for him to be the age that he is and wants to really give back and be a blessing to his community, you don't really see that much. So please get behind him and support it. If you can't support it, like I said, he'll put his Cash App, send him a couple of dollars or something like this so he can buy some socks and give it out to people. And we are looking to do some things as well individually too. So we are looking for volunteer opportunities for each one of us too, that we can kind of be a blessing to other people. So y'all have a blessed day. Hopefully this kind of give you the boost you need for your Monday, because I know Mondays kind of, they can be a Monday. So hopefully this gets you on through the week. And we've enjoyed it. So we will see everybody on Thursday. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
Have a good one.